In this video, we're looking at transversal lines and parallel lines. So a transversal line is just a line that cuts two or more lines. So here you can see we have a line here and a line here, and then we have this long one that cutting both just there. That's what we call our transversal line. Now, parallel lines are where you have two lines that, well, they're parallel because they never intersect, right? They do not intersect ever. So as long as they run on forever and ever, they're never going to reach each other. Okay? They also have the same gradient. Now, parallel lines give us certain properties that we can use. And the first one we're going to look at is what we call corresponding angles. Now, see every marked angle we have here. So I'm going to zoom in so we can just see it a bit closer. All right. All the marked angles are equal. Now, how I like to identify if I'm dealing with corresponding angles is if I highlight the lines that I'm looking at. For example, if I highlight this line here and this line because that makes this angle, and then I go highlight this line and it makes that angle. Notice how it makes a kind of like F shape. If it makes that F shape, I know it's a corresponding angle, therefore those angles in the corners are the same. Right? But remember, F's can be upside down, so you might have to flip your book or turn your page a bit until you see the F. Okay? Now we have alternate angles. Now alternate angles, the marked angles are the same as well. They're equal. Now how I like to do this one, with the same trick again, highlighting those lines. So there's one angle, and then I go and highlight this again, and there's the other angle. That makes a kind of like a Z shape almost. Alright. So if it makes that Z shape, it's alternate and the angles that are marked are the same. The last major one is what we call co-interior angles. Now this is a little bit different. So co-interior angles add to 180 degrees. So here we would have A plus B equals 180. And we would use that. Now in the same way, there is a trick to identifying it. If you mark your angles like we did here, and then this one and then this one, see, notice how it makes a kind of C shape. That's a backward C, but it does make a C shape over here. If you look, it makes a proper C shape in the green. Alright, if it makes that C shape almost, that's an indication it's a co-interior angle. Now we can use all of these to solve problems. So here's our first one. So the first thing I'm going to try and find is that A. Now this could be multiple. You can use so many things to do this. You can find B first, you could find the C first, you could find the A first. There's no one correct pathway to finding all these solutions. And a lot of the time it's just do your best and try to find them. So the first way I'm going to try to do it is I'm going to use that. Now that's a straight angle. Alright? So that must mean 120 plus A needs to equal 180. So if I take away 120 from both sides, I end up with 60. So I know that A is going to be 60 now. So if I can just put that in there, 60. Okay? The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try and find B. Now there's two different ways that I can try to find B. I can use co-interior. So this was to find A up here. We're going to try and find B now. If I use the co-interior method, I know that 60 and B need to add up to 180. So 60 plus B needs to be 180. So if I take away 60, I know that B is going to be 120. Alright. The other way I could do it, and I'll do it in blue this time, is if I highlight those lines, it makes a Z shape with 120 in B. So, or alternate angles, because it makes that Z shape and these are equal. So B needs to be 120. So two different ways that we ended up with the same answer. Alright, so if I go down here now and I get rid of that, I now know that this is 120. and I can move on to finding C. All right, so C now. So again, multiple different ways I can do it. I could do vertically opposite angles. So if I did that, vertically opposite, C equals 120. I could have done in orange, like this, corresponding angles, because it makes an F shape. So corresponding. So with corresponding angles, they're equal. So C equals 120. Multiple ways of getting to different answers, and it's okay to find which way you prefer or which way you see first and then go with that.